What's up, beautiful souls? Your boy Loon is back with another subreddit video, and today we are diving back into r/AITA, or Am I the A-hole? For those of you guys that don't know, this subreddit is full of different scenarios where people post and look for judgment in regards of who the a-hole was in their situation. Most of the time, it's the other party, but sometimes it's everybody involved. And the few times that we do see it, every now and then the OP is the a-hole, and we see those often in Am I the Devil as well. So yeah, without further ado, we're gonna jump into this, but real quick, if you are new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Help me towards my goal of 20,000 subscribers. We are growing at such a fast rate. Thank you, everybody who's been following me along. We've also been live streaming 1 to 3 times every week. If you guys want to be a part of the live streams and be updated on when I live stream, make sure you guys join the Discord server. It's a link in the description box. All right, now let's get into the video. We got the best post posted for AITA, and starting right off the bat, this one says, AITA for refusing to punish my daughter after she blew up the class clown that she didn't or don't want at her birthday party. Okay, interesting. My daughter is 13 and she goes to a small school. Her grade only has 18 students, 10 boys and 8 girls. Yeah, that's pretty small. My daughter also has other friends from the sports that she does. We plan to have her go to a much larger high school in the future, but her 13th birthday party was last weekend, and I asked her who she wanted to invite. She wanted to invite 7 of the girls from my class, so exactly every girl except 1, okay? And 5 from her soccer team. The one girl that she doesn't want to invite is named Kelly. Poor Kelly Kapoor. My daughter doesn't like Kelly. She's the class clown in her grade, and my daughter hides her annoying. I think that is meant to say sees her as annoying and attention-seeking. I asked her why she didn't want her there, and her response was, she ruins school for me all the time. I don't want her to ruin my birthday. I agreed with her list and sent out the invites out. My ex-wife is invited to all her major milestones instead of us doing separate events. I learned an hour before the party, my ex-wife sent an invite to Kelly since her mom found out about the party. Oh God. My daughter was not happy to see her. It was a surprise for her, and I told her to enjoy the party. It was going well until the cake came out. My daughter wanted a glitter cake. When you blow out the candles, glitter goes everywhere. While everyone was around the cake, Kelly took her fingers and swiped icing off the top layer of the cake. It ruined the cake and my daughter lost it. Yeah, bro, what? Who's Kelly's mother or father? How is Kelly being raised at home? Because I'm curious why she would think this is okay to do. OP's daughter yelled at Kelly, basically saying, what is wrong with you? This is why I didn't want you here and that you ruined everything. She ran to her room after and Kelly was crying. I hate to say this, but good. Kelly's parent is wanting an apology. Like, what, you guys wanted to apologize is what you mean? My ex-wife wants her to apologize as well. I am refusing to make her do that or punish her at all. Oh, in regards of your daughter. I pointed out that my ex never should have invited her and that to her mom, and that her child ruined the cake. And that at 12 years old, should have known better. They are calling me an A, and my daughter is just upset. Wow. What? Kelly is such an a-hole. I hate to say that a kid is an a-hole, but Kelly's an a-hole. Also, the parent is terrible parenting too. Very entitled parenting to not know that your daughter, Kelly here, is being a loser. Let's read the comments. As a former middle school teacher, now high school, not the a-hole, your daughter is not the a-hole. The girl, this class clown, has been allowed to disrupt the classroom, to stealing learning opportunities from her classmates, to do whatever she pleases. The parents have supported her awful behavior. I guarantee they have been contacted by the teacher. I promise you they have. And they were either non-responsive or threatening in response. They have enabled this behavior, and your daughter called the kid out on it, and that is okay. Honestly, your daughter is teaching her how the real world works. Because in the real world, when you play stupid games, get stupid rewards. That is your daughter defending herself after enduring time, attention, and energy theft by this kid in class, not the a-hole that girl and her parents are. Fully agreed. Come on, that's an easy one. Again, most of the top posts are, pretty up there in terms of who the a-hole is, or pretty predictable, I might say. But let's actually switch it up. Let's switch it up to what's hot. Hopefully we can find something more interesting in regards of harder to determine who the a-hole is. Not to say that that one wasn't interesting. Just sometimes it's more interesting when you can't tell who the a-hole is. This one's interesting. This one's in like all the lists. Okay. AITA for locking myself in the office when we have company. Okay. I, 36 female, took in my mother during the pandemic after some medical issues. I never made her move out after. It works for us. She has her own bedroom and bathroom. We share other spaces, and I work from home most of the time so I can look after her. That's actually really sweet of you to do that. That's amazing. My stepdad passed about a decade ago, and she was lonely. It made sense for us, and that's very sweet of you. As mentioned, I work from home most of the time, and a lot of the times in some kind of team meetings or calls. Yes, even those can be emails, but that's not important. So I don't really have time for chit chat during office hours. My mom's sister, aka my aunt, tends to drop by unannounced to visit my mom, which I don't really mind, but she does have the tendency to step into my office without knocking while I'm working and start talking to me about her neighbor's sister's kids who did blah, blah, blah. I've done more than once explain to her that I'm working and I'm on a call and I can't really chat right now, but she keeps talking like nothing happened. That's so silly. I could just imagine that, like somebody walking, I'm like, I'm in the middle of like work. Like what? Today, she actually announced to my mom that she was coming over. I reminded my mom to tell her that I'm working on calls and can't be disrupted, and my mom agreed. She would tell her to not bother me. But just to be safe, I locked my office door so that she couldn't walk in. That's like that's normal. How is that making you the a-hole? Let's keep reading though. Despite my mom telling her, she came upstairs and tried to open the door. When it didn't open, she started knocking and calling out, "Hello, it's me, open up." I didn't respond at first as I was on a call with a client, but she did keep banging on the door so loudly. I ended up having to put the client on hold. I told her without opening the door I was on a call and could not talk to her right now, and my aunt left in a huff. Now she's bombarding my mom with texts on how rude I was for locking myself in the office, knowing that I had company. So am I the a-hole? See, this is the thing about AI. It's super interesting to read these scenarios because they are very like said, but oftentimes I'm kind of like, does OP really think that they could ever be the a-hole in these situations? To me, it's very cut and dry sometimes. That's why I like Am I the Devil sometimes, because I'm like, bro, it is crazy how oblivious some of these people are. But like for instance, this one right here, I mean, this is obvious who the a-hole was, right? It's everybody. No, I'm just playing. It's it's the aunt. But update, let's get to read this. Go to dinner for a few hours, return to Reddit only to find that this has exploded. Thank you for all the confirmation that it isn't on me. I guess some people need that validation that they weren't the a-hole. So I'm not going to judge too much. It is just like interesting to me, you know? I did not think that I was the a-hole, but there's always a hint of doubt where you're like, okay, there you go. Well, at least she explains literally what I was looking for. Maybe I should have poked my head out and said hello real quick, but the truth was I was busy it was a busy day today and I didn't have the time. Now for the update. After I finished my workout, I took my mom out for dinner and discussed the matter. She hadn't responded to any of my sister's texts because she is fully on my side. I know people are asking why my mom didn't stop her. My mom isn't very mobile anymore, and my aunt simply got up from her seat and just took off upstairs despite my mom's warning. We discussed it over dinner, and we agreed that my aunt simply is no longer welcome during office hours since it's the only way to stop this behavior. Either she can pick up my mom to go to the coffee shop and talk, come after office hours, or come on over the day I work in office. Yeah, that's so much more like mature and well resolved. Like that should have been it from the start, but I understand that something like this you didn't predict to happen. So yeah, totally understand. My aunt seems pretty pissy about it. Well, she sucks. Calling their brother, my uncle, to complain also, but he texted me earlier saying how he told her how wrong she was. And apparently her husband, yeah, does she not realize that she's not entitled to your time, especially when you're working? What? And her husband had also told her that she is wrong. So now she's just completely stomping on her feet at home because everybody is saying she's wrong. That's the thing that is wrong with some people, like, or not wrong, just silly. Some people just hate to admit that they're wrong. It's so funny. Delightful woman she is reminded me on one day post the story about her Disneyland trip. Okay. Well, that is insane. What an update. There is still more. hold up. Let's read this update. This is actually kind of interesting. At first I was going to skip this, but update to the update. This is the Cliff Note version of the Disneyland story. Now I'm invested. She has twin boys, and for their birthday, she booked a trip to take them and one of their friends out to Disneyland. The friend ended up canceling last minute and told me if I paid the friend's share, I could go. Reasonable enough. I figured why not. I was 16 at the time of this story. This is like 20 years old. I'm European, so this is Disneyland, Paris I'm talking about. And I'm not from France, so this is an international trip. Oh, wow. This becomes important later. My cousins are maybe 10-ish at this point. So anyways, we're at the parks and she has been a menace all trip already, but I'm dealing with it. It's the last day, about 5 hours before we have to take our train back home. International traveling train with customs, etc., like a plane would be only less boarding time. One of my cousins wanted to go on the rock and roll roller coaster and the other one doesn't. The line is about 5 minutes or less, and so my aunt tells me to go with him and she'll wait at the exit with our bags. So I leave my bag containing my phone, my ID, my money, everything in her care. 10 minutes later, me and my cousin get out of the ride and she is gone. Whoa, what? So I started looking around, cannot find her. After half an hour of waiting, maybe they went to the bathroom or something, still nothing. We go check the bathrooms, neighboring rides, the works, no aunt. I have no phone on me to call her. And about 20 years ago, you didn't really have phones like that. And with us having to leave for the train in 4 hours, I got nervous. I'm a 16-year-old kid with a 10-year-old in my hands and no money, no ID, no phone, nothing. That is insane of her being the guardian and oldest person and to not realize how scary this is, to just leave. It had to have been an emergency or something. So I decided to go to the lost kids department and explain the situation. They ended up calling her through the park's intercom. Another hour goes by, no aunt. This is crazy. I would be so scared. I remember my dad's phone number back home, so I used the Disneyland line to call him. He tries calling her cell phone, her cell phone. My cell phone, no response whatsoever. At this point, I have had less than an hour or less before the train leaves, and I'm in hystericals because I can't board this train without money or ID, let alone another minor. My cousins at this point, seeing my panic, is crying his eyes out. So I'm dealing with a scared child. I'm barely an adult myself. My dad eventually tells me that it makes no sense for him to drive out to Paris right now. To go back to our hotels, he'll pay for another night and he'll come pick us up in the morning. So I take my cousins back to the hotel, explain the situation, and the receptionist hears my name and says, "Oh, sweetheart, I have a note for you. It's a note from your aunt. Gone to dinner, see you on the train." What? No way. What is shitty ass aunt? What the hell? At this point, that pisses me off. At this point, I have half an hour to run to the station, hoping we'll still get through customs, and she's supposedly to be waiting. I make it with 15 minutes to spare. I'm out of breath and fuming. We end up making it through customs. God only knows how I managed to get on the train literally as the doors closed on us. I call my dad to explain the update, and he is also fuming at this point, to which my aunt turns to me and goes, "Oh, I don't know why you're so mad. I left a note at the hotel and brought you something to eat," and hands me a freaking dinner roll. I took my stuff, went to the dining car with my cousin, who she also almost abandoned, and gave him the biggest slice of chocolate cake my budget could buy, and never came back to our seats to talk to her. Wow. What? I can't even believe there's something like that in this world. This one seems interesting and a little bit more blurred lines, I think, based on the comments, but I could be wrong. This one says, "Am I the a-hole for eating most of her birthday cake?" Oh, God. A lot of cakes today, huh? All right, my wife, who's 32, and I, who is 35, were recently on vacation over the 4th of July. Okay, so this was very recent, which also happens to be my wife's birthday. Very American of her. I'm just playing. We had all the normal traditions for our family, including cake. We all had a piece day of, but almost nobody ate the entire rest of the cake. Ate the cake the entire rest of the trip. When the time came to return home, my mother-in-law made the cake, offered to send the whole thing with us because they didn't need all that and we will probably just throw it away. My wife hates food waste, so she brought it. The journey home was 2 days by car. It has since been 2 days by car? Where the hell did you have the trip? That sounds like crazy. What? Did you have it across the country? It has since been 2 additional days since we got back. Each night after dinner, I have had a reasonably sized piece of the cake for dessert. I used to be a bigger guy, and while I have much better habits now, I still have a soft spot for baked goods. Dude, same. Like, that is literally my weakness, is just sweets. The cake was budgeted for, though, and I had been looking forward to eating a little. Well, today my wife saw that there was only 1 slice left and was irate, saying I was completely selfish and that I had eaten almost all of her cake. I told her that the cake had also been available to all for nearly a week, counting days it sat on the counter before we took it home with us, and that nobody had bothered to touch it but me. I did apologize after she finished explaining to me that it upset her, but I don't understand why it's such a big deal to begin with. The cake was right there. She never even had a bite. To me, this sounds like classic guy-girl miscommunication. Like, why did this could have been solved by him just saying, hey, is it cool if I eat a slice of your cake? Done. As of right now, it seems like he might actually be the a-hole, which is a rare change, but we'll see. For additional context, in the past, she has requested that certain foods be saved for her as leftovers, etc. Oh, wow. Okay. I've obliged only for that food to sit until it has become moldy, and she claims that she had forgotten it in there. Oops. See, I see what he's got male logic saying, like, because of this past, I don't trust her to eat it. But I think it's just smarter if you just asked, because then she at least knows, and then it's not your fault. For someone who hates food waste, allegedly, I find the behavior doubly puzzling. Was I in the wrong here? Edit to answer some reoccurring questions. It isn't, nor has it ever been, my cake or your cake situation in our family. It's just the cake to be shared. Well, it's still her birthday, but there has been never been an expectation beyond making sure that the birthday person gets the first slice. After that, it's just a regular old cake. I don't know. Maybe in their family, but to me, I don't view it that way. The courtesy some are relaying is to simply ask if she wanted a slice while I'm serving myself. In our home, this has never been a consistent thing. Yeah, but it doesn't hurt to ask, right? It does happen, but it's not an expectation. It doesn't happen every time. Desserts are just understood to be periodically available, and if she wants some, or if you want some, it's there. Different rules for small children notwithstanding. Finally, we ate on the drive. IDK why people excluded those 2 days where the cake was available. Obviously, we didn't drive 48 straight hours without subsistence. And the first night, we obviously had to park and rest somewhere. And besides that, we were home for dinner on the second day as well. But why didn't you ask? I just don't get why he didn't just, like, this could have been resolved so easily. Update, I have decided to simply bake her the exact same cake in a smaller tin just for her. It will be her cake and nobody else to touch it. If it gets wasted, so be it. There you go. It is her cake. I hate the waste, but it's not worth the division. I'm glad you realized that. Update 2, the remade cake was much appreciated. She has yet to take a single bite. Not going to track progress. The cake was made as an apology, not to test the theory. This is the final update. Let's read what this person says first. So far, I think he's slightly more of the a-hole in this situation. She's definitely not. Info, as you were helping yourself to a slice of her cake every night, were you also offering to get her a piece and she was declining, or were you just eating her cake without saying a word? Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Edit, based on your response, you're the a-hole, mainly for not offering her cake while getting some yourself. Also, thanks for the award, whoever did that. Do you think she didn't know the cake was there? I don't think it's his job to remind her that the cake was there every day. True, but also it doesn't hurt to just ask. It's like a common courtesy thing. I don't know. I think he's much more in the wrong than she is, but I don't think anyone's like that bad. I think it's just poor communication. Yep. Yeah, on that note, we're going to end this one a little earlier than usual because I have to crank out these videos. I am currently in California as these are airing out. But anyways, I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, the past videos, whatever videos you guys have been tuning into. And I hope you guys stick around because I will be uploading much more content to come. Yeah, love you guys so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful night or day or whatever, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!